In this lab, we're going to talk about making strategic planning fun. Now, I know what you're thinking. Strategic planning, fun, don't mix. I mean, I tell people I'm a strategic planner and I hate to do strategic planning. I mean, we've all sat in those strategy meetings that are just deadly boring and templates and exercises to go through and hour after hour after hour. But strategy is important. So the reason fun has to come into it is with fun, you can actually make people want to participate in that. And if you can embrace this idea of fun strategic planning, you break open a whole variety of possibilities. So how does that happen? A lot of people think, well, toys, put more toys in the room. Yeah, toys are part of it. But the more important thing is, how do you create breakthrough thinking and think about the experience and the success that you can create for everybody who's participating in the process. So let's talk a little bit about that. So in terms of enabling breakthrough strategic thinking, what are the ways to do that? How can you manage that part of the equation to create strategic planning that's a lot more fun and people want to participate in it? One is to invite a broader group and adapt the process accordingly. Strategic planning and building strategy shouldn't just be, let's get the executives in a room. Reach out into the organization and actually increase the diversity of people in thinking, but don't bring people in who maybe have been unfamiliar with strategy and expect them to write a vision statement or write a strategy statement. Instead, you're going to capitalize on what they know and giving them ways to best contribute. That's the thing we're going to teach you how to do. As you do that, you can start to stretch everybody's thinking without leaving them behind. You want to bring them along, and that creates fun for people that feel like they can contribute. As well, you want to get the stuff that isn't fun out of the way beforehand. And a lot of that is the data gathering. I mean, nothing kills the fun in a meeting by somebody going, well, we don't know that. Somebody go track down that piece of information. So get that stuff out of the way. Get individual work out of the way. I mean, if you've got a group together, you want to have them interacting. So get the individual stuff, the homework, get that done early and spend the time as well. And it maybe thought time on your part to work through, what do you want that experience to be? If you can take care of that stuff up front, you really set the stage for a lot more fun. Part of that, too, is get rid of boring presentations. I mean, how many strategy planning meetings have you been in that just have hours of these presentations and you're supposed to process all that? Instead, incorporate the learnings, the insights that you have into the exercises. So as people actually, they're working with the information and using that to build strategy. That becomes fun. They can actually get really active with that and start engaging. So the second piece of this is delivering a fun strategic planning experience. And again, that may seem like a misnomer, but trust me, there's a way to do it. I think the one way that everybody rushes to is to pick a venue, go off-site. We've got to have an off-site strategy meeting. Well, that can certainly help, but think about someplace that's out of the ordinary. And maybe one of the most important things, and a lot of the venues you work with won't get this, is get a lot of room per person. Don't cram everybody into a little tiny room. Give them flexibility on seating, moving around, and a lot of space to make that happen. That all creates a very fun environment. Bring some humor to introductions and icebreakers. Don't go around the room and say your name and your title and how many years you've worked at the company. Boring, boring, boring. We've got some things in the workbook that you can start to understand some new techniques, some new icebreakers and things you can do to add fun to that. But you can also incorporate questions that you're going to need for later. So it doesn't have to just be silly stuff or make fun of people's stuff. We don't want to do that, but we can find out information and have people share some insights maybe that will help in the strategic planning. And it's important to let everybody know that disruptive thinking is okay and expected. They may come into there, and if they've been in a lot of the boring strategy meetings, think, well, I better be very conventional and very buttoned up because nobody really wants to hear any really good ideas. That's not the case. So you want to let them know, hey, we've got an expectation that things may not be exactly as you've expected or how you've done strategy planning in the past, and we're looking for breakthrough thinking. And you can bring that disruption that helps get to breakthrough thinking in a variety of ways. One is to turn up the speed on the workshop, and the exercises that we use allow people to get through a lot of work very quickly. that creates a sense of excitement. And using small groups and continuing to rearrange those. So people are working with new folks, they're getting new perspectives. And when you've got multiple small groups, if you've got that kind of a strategy session going on, it's great to create a competition. So, can you come up with better ideas or different types of strategy or look at things from a different way? And particularly too, you always do want to max out on food, breaks, and fun drinks, but give people that space, because as much fun as it is, it can be tiring to do strategic planning and thinking all day long. So you want to give people those breaks and certainly a chance to catch up. So as you can tell, there's a variety of variables, things you can manage. So the strategic planning formula isn't just let's get more toys, let's throw more goodies or tchotchkes in the room. It really comes down to thinking about how you create successful planners to allow them to engage and contribute ideas that they walked into the room with, but probably more often than not, to help them get to new thinking, new ideas, and new possibilities than they've ever imagined before. And that, trust me, is fun strategic planning.